How's it going, everyone? Luxeley here in Deepwind Gorge for about the 900th time on my Hunter, and I gotta say, I'm very, very happy that I put in the time and effort to get that moose mount right before it got closed out. I know, that's kind of irrelevant, but this is a particular battleground the Alliance seems to hate, and I don't understand why, because it's not too difficult as far as the strat goes. There's a Frost DK calling it an airstrike, as usual. Like, that's the only class in the game with its own drone. But from what I understand, a lot of people have been telling me that Frost has been a little bit on the downside as far as its damage is concerned. And, you know, as much as I hated them, and I mean, like, really hated them, in what? I just want things to be fair, people. That's really it. I just want things to be fair. And it looks like we're going to capture mid. That's what I do. I on my Hunter, or any kind of strong AoE type of tune, you want to take mid, and Mage is just Juliana, or whatever her name is. She's going to be dead soon. Yep, I think Cauterize got her there. But if you have a strong AoE, you always want to go mid, especially only if you have healers. If you don't have healers, then you kind of want to nitpick on the two mines. But if you have a lot of healers, you want to go mid. It's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Any good strategy on this for the Horde or the Alliance? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'm seriously thinking of producing a video. Yeah, 1-0. Not too good so far. I'm seriously thinking of producing a video on the basics on Battlegrounds, where you should be if it is in each given situation. So in other words, if your team has a cart in this battleground, where you should be. If you have one base, two base, if the other team has a cart. It all depends on the situation. And because I'm just seeing people just not knowing the basics. And it gets very frustrating. Not that they're ever going to find me on YouTube. Half of the WoW players, more than that, I'd say about 99% of the WoW players can't find me on YouTube. But bottom line is, I just want to make things easier. There's the airstrike again. And it looks like he's dead. We're going to capture this particular mine. Guys running in and out of the mine, mining stuff. The other guy's curious. My team's like, what's in the mines? I want to check it out. I don't know. You guys let me know. You guys ever, like, gallivant inside those mines? You really can't. As opposed to AB, where you can gallivant your way in and out of those mines. And I've often chased people into those mines. But we're in pretty good shape here as far as the bases go. And I'm just trying to take out this Paladin. Hopefully, me and Rogue Hunter is still a pretty good combo, especially in twos. Paladin's putting up a fight. Sooner or later, I expect his bubble to pop. We'll see. What do you guys think? Is his bubble going to pop? Paladins just love the bubble. They just love the bubble. And I understand it's an instant cast when you get below a certain amount of health. Let's see if this guy has it. I'm guessing he might have that ability. Although, we'll see. I don't know. Seems to be going upwards in health here. On top of the fact that I'm on him, the rogue is on him, and he's got to be out of cooldowns now. And he's got to be thinking, I really, really wish I could use my bubble right now. I wish I could use my bubble right now. And what I could tell him, my best advice, clank your ruby boots together and just call for home. Because look at him, he's still going upwards. And see, that little, there he is. Now he's finally down. Thanks for playing. Good for you. You didn't use your bubble. I'm very happy for you. Good job. So, we seem to be dominating here. 2 bases to 0. And, there's the bubble. And wings, no less. Bubble and wings. Bubble wings. Soon to be dead. That bubble's gone. Shining Forest. Just trying to hang on, survive. I get you, bro. I get you. Thanks for playing. Oh, there's the mage from before, Juliana. Hey, babe, how you doing? I think she's on ice. Yep. Now she's going to blink. Sooner or later, she's going to be... See, what do you guys think of Cauterize for fire mages? I'm not too happy about it. I mean, yes, it makes a lot of sense in Arena, but out there it is, Cauterize, and she's going to zip around and then die. You know, Cauterize is just kind of like a moth flying to a flame. It's just an eventual death unless there's a healer around. Even if you ice block, yeah, you're probably going to be low on health anyway, so then everybody's just like waiting for that ice block to disperse or melt. So, still doing pretty well. 2-1. They have a cart. We have a cart. looking pretty good. 2 hunters just trying to take mid, but not happening. It's just not happening. Sorry, guys. See, the trick with MM is very simple. If you go lone wolf, and there really is no reason not to, because the pets are digital, you know, it's not like you can pet them or anything, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and they don't offer that much any utility. Some do, but not something really awesome that in other words, you could do without the utility that they do offer, what little they do offer. We're talking maybe 5% of them actually offer some kind of utility. So you could do without the pets and go MM and go MM. I mean, let's Luxeley trying English again. Go lone wolf, get the extra damage. It really does make a big difference, as you'll see in the final numbers here, because if you're going to put up big damage in a battleground, the bottom line is your particular class is going to have very strong AoE the way it is right now in the game, and that would pretty much be, say, an Unholy DK, Boomkin, very, very strong AoE. There are other classes, I'm just going off the top of my head, but if you have a very strong AoE, you're going to put up a lot of damage in a battleground. And I don't have a strong AoE, but I do put a lot of damage up playing as a lone wolf. Now I got to scamper away. Uh-oh. See, I got to run away. Fire mage, turtle, guacamole bowl. Here we go. We'll just guard mid for a while. So, yeah, hunters, not a lot of AoE. Even BM, not a lot of AoE. Survival, not a lot of AoE. Warriors, yeah, they don't have a strong AoE, but what they do have, they have multi-target damage. There are abilities, so they're going to do pretty well. Red Paladins, no. Rogues, no. Not a lot of AoE. So I don't want to go over at what the AoE is for every given class. You guys know what it is. But you can do a huge amount of damage, lone wolf. The bottom line is, even if you do have a pet, they're running rampant. They're doing their own things. I mean, I've had new PvP clips where I've had pets follow me literally from lumber mill past stables up until halfway between stables and mines. And that, I don't know if that's as intended or that's a bug. That only started happening in WoD. Once they took away all the hunter pet utility or CC that they used to have. That's not the reason why they do that. I think that in the past, if a pet went, say, X amount of yards away from its master, in other words, someone was kiting the pet away, the pet would just disappear and you'd have to resummon it. That's the way it used to work. Now, the pet will follow you literally across the entire map. Matter of fact, I should probably try to make a video and have a pet chase me from stables all the way to farm. I guarantee it will happen. It will happen. And I'd have to have some kind, a little bit of a speedy one, because they'll do some damage to me, and the bottom line is maybe some kind of hot seal. But yeah, just trying to peel for the cart guy. He's got lots of gold. Maybe I'll get some. Who knows? But in the past, I remember when I first did DWG at the start of Legion on my Hunter max level, and I was just like, wow, let me try to peel for the cart guy. Let me try to make myself useful. And I'm like looking around at my abilities, and freezing trap, not there. Explosive trap, not there. Ice trap, not there. I was like, oh my god, this sucks. I have absolutely no utility. Now you have some utility. And I said this before, the problem with MM is your artifact ability and your big ability that does damage, aim shot. Both of them are hard casts, and you got to stand there and cast it. And that's really not good. You want to be mobile if you're a ranged class. I'm just a big advocate of mobility. Is there something in the game, some kind of ability in the game? Let me know what class you play, and more importantly, what ability it is in PvP that you tend to use as a crutch. Because I think we all have one, and I'm just curious what some of you guys say with some of the classes that I might not play. What's an ability that you tend to use as a crutch? For me, for example, in WoD, which is an acronym for Warlords of Drain All the Fun, when I played my Shadow Priest, my favorite ability was Spectral Guise. And now that Spectral Guise is gone, it really kind of gimps me, and not too happy with it. But this has been, I hate to say it because it's just so cheesy, but easy peasy of a win here, which is rare. which is rare. DK's just popping all his whammies and trying to take mid, but it's just not going to happen as I got some range on him, and he's dead. And what do we say to people that die in Battlegrounds? Thanks for playing, bro. Yeah, we got a pretty decent lead. We got him. I don't even think they have one base. We have two. Just recently capped. We're in good shape. It looks like we're cruising to a win as opposed to cruising for a bruising. And the Hunter, once again, boom, boom. See, I kind of fluctuate between lock and load and the dot ability, Black Arrow. It kind of depends. If I see more melee, I'll tend to go with the Black Arrow because it does shadow damage as opposed to physical damage. If I see a lot of clothies and leather, then yeah, what I'll do is I will probably spec for the lock and load. I mean, it does give you some more mobility, but Black Arrow gives you a hell of a lot more mobility. So, that's it. Game over. Thanks for playing, people, and thank you for watching. This is Luxeley saying, whatever it is by you, morning, afternoon, or night, make it great.